Hello students, in previous class we have completed isomerism. Just once I will recall the isomerism topic and after that we will go for next concept. Isomerism is mainly classified into two types. Those are structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. Okay, under structural isomerism again six types we have. All the six types clearly we have seen. Next, under stereoisomerism two types are there, geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. Regarding this geometrical isomerism, we will study in hydrocarbons, and optical isomerism we will study in 12th class. Okay. Under structural isomerism, position isomerism, chain isomerism, functional group isomerism, ring chain isomerism, tautomerism, metamerism. Like this six types we have seen. Okay, no? All the six types, what are the different types? All these things we have studied. Okay. The two compounds which have same molecular formula, which are different in structures, are called structural isomers. The two compounds which have same molecular formula but differed in arrangement of groups surrounding carbon, that is called, those are called stereoisomers, and the property is called stereoisomerism. Okay, like that we have seen in previous class. Anyways, we completed that isomerism now. Now in today's class we will go through, actual thing is in 12th class we will go through complete reactions, organic reactions. Not only in 12th, in next chapter hydrocarbons also we are going to study organic reactions. Okay, for that also we need some basics, as this concept is entirely related to basic concepts of organic chemistry. Okay, till now we have seen what are the useful things to give the names of compounds. Okay, how we have to give the names, like that basics we have seen. Names, isomerism, like that basics we have seen. Now we are entering into what are the basics required for organic reactions. To understand hydrocarbons reactions, or next year 4 chapters are there, those reactions, we need some basics. Okay, ma? Those basics we are going to study. So our next side heading is basics in organic reaction mechanism. So what is our next concept? Basics in organic reaction mechanism. Generally, organic reaction is represented as, this is general representation only, substrate first, the substance which will undergo reaction is called substrate. Substrate will undergo reaction with reagent. Substrate means the substance which will undergo reaction is called substrate. Okay, it will undergo reaction with reagent to form intermediate. Intermediate means between reactants and products one substance is going to be formed. Okay, that substance is called intermediate. Inter means between. Inter means between reactants and products. Actually, in inorganic reactions, these two are reactants, we will say. The resultant of the reaction, those are called products. See, intermediate will form products. Intermediate will be converted to products. Okay, see, in inorganic reactions we will say generally these are reactants will form products. Okay, there also there is a chance of formation of intermediate, but mechanism wise we won't study inorganic reactions. Simply we will complete the reaction. But in organic reactions, maximum reactions mechanisms will be there, but in 12th class hardly 5 or 6 reaction mechanisms only we will study. Okay, but clearly if you want to go through complete organic chemistry, every reaction can be discussed with reaction mechanism, but that much explanation if we do, the time is not enough to complete the portion for 12th. So selectively we will select the reactions and we will go through reaction mechanisms next year. Okay, but General representation of organic reactions is this one. See, substrate, the reaction, the substance which will undergo reaction, it will be reacted with reagent. This is the attacking reagent on substrate. Those two will undergo reaction to form intermediate. Okay, that intermediate will be converted to products as well as byproducts also. That intermediate will be converted to products plus byproducts. Actually here the thing is products and byproducts. Which are treated as products and which one is treated as byproduct? Suppose we want to prepare alkene, ethene. We want to prepare ethene. Okay, ma'am? What is the thing we are going to prepare? That is our main product. We want to prepare alkene, ethene. Okay, so in the reaction totally, we got ethene plus hydrogen. Let us consider. After the reaction is completed, okay, ma'am, we got ethene plus hydrogen. For example, I am telling here. Then, what is our main product? What is the thing we are going to prepare? We want to prepare. Suppose I want to prepare ethene. Okay, na? That is called product. Then, what is the side product? Means byproduct. Hydrogen is the byproduct. Okay, suppose one reaction is started in a way that I want to prepare hydrogen gas. One reaction is started in a way that I want to prepare hydrogen gas. Along with that hydrogen gas, any other substance we got, carbon dioxide or any other thing. Then what is our main product? Okay, which substance we are going to prepare that one, that is called product, main product. And remaining are called byproducts. If they are useful chemically or whatever it is, they are called byproducts. I think you understood the difference between products and byproducts. Generally, in laboratories or any other thing also, we will think one product to be formed as our main substance. Then that is treated as product. Along with that, if any other products are formed, those are treated as byproducts. Is it okay, ma'am? Suppose example, alcohol industry. Okay, in alcohol industry, they will take molasses wastage from sugar industry. That molasses will undergo different process and we will get alcohol plus carbon dioxide. For example, I am telling here, this is the reaction which is happening in alcohol industry. Okay, why alcohol is going to be manufactured? Mainly we are going to get alcohol. Along with that carbon dioxide also we will get. Then what is our intention? We want to prepare alcohol because it is alcohol industry, we want to prepare alcohol. Then alcohol is prepared. Along with that carbon dioxide is also formed. Then carbon dioxide is treated as byproduct, alcohol is treated as main product. Like that. There is no much difference between them. Both are products only. But what is the substance we are going to prepare? We want to prepare. Okay, that is called main product or product. And other substances are called byproducts. That is the thing. Okay, alcohol industry, alcohol is the main product, carbon dioxide is the byproduct. In carbon dioxide manufacturing, along with carbon dioxide, if you get any other thing, carbon dioxide is the main product, remaining things are byproducts. Like that, sometimes carbon dioxide will be byproduct and sometimes carbon dioxide will be main product. According to the reaction we want to prepare. That is the thing. The substance which we are going to prepare, which we want to prepare, that is called products and the remaining are called byproducts. Okay, ma'am? This is the representation of organic reaction. Substrate plus reagent gives rise to intermediate, which is giving rise to products. Again, that intermediates give rise to byproducts also. Now, this is representation of reaction. Okay, but what is meant by mechanism? That one I am going to define that one. Let us see. Organic reaction mechanism. First I will write the definition, after that I will explain. First, the definition is the sequential representation of steps which are involved with energetics of formation and dissociation and rates of formation of reactions is called mechanism. Okay, ma'am. This is the definition of mechanism. The sequential representation of steps which are involved with energetics of formation and dissociation and rates of formation of reactions is called mechanism. Here actually the thing is, these rates of formations of reactions, it is coming under kinetics, chemical kinetics in 12th class. Okay, ma'am. Now the total explanation of this definition. Sequential representation. Okay, suppose let us consider one reaction. Okay, that reaction will be completed in total one step, like that we will see. But actual thing is that reaction is completed in different multiple steps. Multiple steps. For example, let us consider one thing. One student, he is a second class or third class student. He wants to come from above upstairs to below. Okay, ma'am. At that time he is coming through stairs. Okay. Sometimes he will jump from first step to fifth step directly, or sometimes first step to second, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth. Like that, stepwise he will come. Okay. But anyways, he wants to come from first step to fifth step. Okay. But what are the ways he followed? Two ways. Directly he can jump from first step to fifth step, or directly he can come from indirectly, means stepwise 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, like that also he can come. Correct or not? This representation, sequential representation is there na, 1 to 2 explanation, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. That is sequential representation of that process of student coming from first step to fifth step. Okay, that is sequential representation. In an order, we are going to represent how reactants are going to be converted to products in multiple steps. That sequential representation of steps which are involved with, that representation of steps are involved with energetics, means energy involved on reactant side, formation means product side, dissociation means reactant side. Energetics of products and reactants and rate of formation of reactions. That rate of reaction also must be explained, okay, through that multiple steps. That multiple steps representation is called mechanism. Okay, now what is meant by rate? Within what time the reaction is going to be completed? Within what time the reaction is going to be completed? Energies of reactants and products. Okay, these are represented along with sequential representation of steps. That is called mechanism. One more time. What is meant by rate? Within what time the reaction is going to be completed? What is meant by rate? Within what time the reaction is going to be completed? Next, energetics. Okay, energies involved on reactant side as well as product side. Energies involved on reactant side and product side. While reactants are undergoing breaking of bond, energy will be absorbed. While product side, bonds are going to be formed, energy will be released. How much amount of energy will be absorbed on reactant side? How much amount of energy will be released on product side? That energy also we will represent. No need to be confused anything. This much clear data we will not get in next 12th class also, but perfect definition we want to know regarding mechanism. That definition is this one. Okay, one more time. The sequential representation of steps, different steps. Okay, one reaction is going to be completed in different steps. The different steps we are going to study. Okay, which are involved with energetics of reactants as well as products. energy is involved for reactants as well as energy involved for products, and in what time the reaction is going to be completed. Everything we are going to represent in that multiple steps. That representation is called reaction mechanism. That representation is called reaction mechanism. Suppose for example, that student who is coming from first step to fifth step, okay, he is coming from first to second. For that, how much amount of energy is required? Second to third. For that, how much amount of energy is required? Third to fourth. Like that, for every step, he requires some energy. Correct or not? That energy representation. First, he is coming from first to second, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth. Okay, that's sequential representation. Second, every step is involved with energy. That energy representation. Within what time he completed that process from first step to fifth step. Stepwise, within what time he completes that step, individual step also. Okay, that one, everything we are going to represent in the sequential representation, that is called mechanism. Okay, ma? I hope you understood now. These many times I explained. Okay, energy will be involved as well as within what time the reaction is going to be completed. Okay, and in a sequential manner, how the reaction is going to be completed. Everything we are going to represent in that mechanism. Everything. For every step, the energy definition, energy involvement, as well as in what time that reaction is going to be completed, the step is completed. Like that, everything we are going to represent in this mechanism. Now finally, once I will read the mechanism definition, the sequential representation of steps which are involved with energies of formation and dissociation and rates of formation of reactions is called mechanism. Okay, ma'am? This is the thing, mechanism definition. Now, what is our heading? Basics in organic reaction mechanism. Is it okay? So, what are the basic terms useful in our organic reactions? Those things also we have to see. First thing, simple representation of organic reaction I have shown. After that, mechanism definition I have written. Okay. Next thing is, what are the basic terms we are going to study which are helpful for organic reaction mechanism? That one we will see now. Okay. So our next slide heading is electron movement in reactions. Electron movement in reactions. Slowly I will teach for you. These are all very important. Okay, everything you will find useful in 12th class definitely. Okay, please observe the things whatever it is going on carefully, and according to that you have to practice well. Organic reactions or organic substance, organic chapter, organic chemistry. If you are how much in touch with that one, that much highly you can remember that one. Otherwise, you will forget definitely. Okay, ma? Please be careful about this one. Now, coming to electron movement in reactions. Okay, electron movement means bond movements we are going to show. Okay, in what way the bond movements will be happened? Let us consider Y is the substance, contains double bond here and here single bond. Okay, like this movements are possible from bond to bond, or like that it will be movement. See, electron movement. Now observe this movement here. Now this pi bond is there now. Generally sigma and pi bond, if you have, pi bonds are easily movable from one position to another position because they are not involved in complete overlapping. They are not rigid. Correct or not? They can move easily from one position to another position. Pi bond can be broken easily and it can be shifted to another bond, another pi bond easily. But sigma bonds maximum, very rarely we will observe the movement of sigma bonds. That is very less. Okay, wherever we are going to see this electron movement, generally we will see that electron movement with respect to pi bonds. Okay, while complete organic reactions are going to be happen, even sigma bonds are also going to be broken. Sigma bonds definitely they are going to be broken completely, but maximum easily pi bonds can be moved from one place to another place easily. Is it okay, ma'am? Now, first thing, let us observe this carefully, all of you. I wrote Y, for example, left side we have double bond, okay, ma'am, and right side we have single bond. Now coming to this pi bond which is present left side, it will shift to another bond right side. Okay, the pi bond which is present here, it will shift to this side. Then we will get Y, left side single bond, right side double bond. Previously Y left side double bond is there. In that one is pi bond and one is sigma bond. That pi bond is moved from here to here. Okay, ma'am. Then it is absent here and it is present here. That means here we will get double bond and here we will get single bond. This type of movements are very important. Please understand, all of you. Now this is called bond to bond movement. Bond is moved to bond. Okay, this is called bond to bond movement. This is first type. Next, B. Same double bond is present towards Y. Okay, and this side we have single bond. Now what is going to be happened? This bond which is present here, it is shifted to Y. It is shifted to Y. Then it is formed as this double bond. In that one bond is shifted towards Y now. Then we have single bond. Single bond Y. Right side also single bond. Right side also single bond. But on Y we are getting electron pair. This electron pair, this bond pair is nothing but actually this pi bond also contains 2 electrons. Correct, ma? This pi bond also contains 2 electrons. That is bond pair. That pair is shifted towards Y. So the 2 electrons will be represented on Y like this. When bond is shifted towards atom, then atom will get electron pair. When bond is shifted towards atom, then atom will get electron pair. This is called bond to atom movement. This is called bond to atom movement. Observe this to all of you, and one more thing it is there. Okay, that one also we will see. First thing is electron movement in reactions. While the reaction, organic reaction is going to be happen, this type of electron movements will be taken place. First A, bond to bond. Okay, pi bond which is present in one position, it is shifted towards right side. That is called bond to bond movement. Next, B. Pi bond which is present on left side, it is shifted to Y. That means bond is shifted towards atom. Previously bond is shifted towards bond. Now bond is shifted towards atom. These are all possibilities. In any possibility, the reaction contains mechanism. In that mechanism, we will show this type of electron movements from bond to bond or bond to atom or from atom to bond. Like that, any possibility we can show. Is it okay, ma? Now, if bond is shifted towards atom, then that atom is getting electron pair, because that bond, pi bond, is nothing but electron pair only. 2 electrons are present. Those 2 electrons are shifted towards Y itself. Then Y will be getting that electron pair. Okay, third one, third possibility. See, already Y has electron pair. Already Y as electron pair. Now this electron pair is shifted towards right side bond. Then it is formed as single bond Y double bond. Single bond Y double bond. Okay, this type of representation is called atom to bond movement. This type of representation is called atom to bond. Atom contains electron pair. Okay, that electron pair is moved towards the bond and it is formed as pi bond. Like this, three possibilities. Any possibility can be happened. Anything from bond to bond. Okay, or from bond to atom, or from atom to bond. If bond is bonded shifted to bond, simply that bond is shifted to that side. Okay, ma'am. If bond is shifted to atom, that atom will get electron pair. If that electron pair is shifted to atom, from atom to bond, then new bond is going to be formed, electron pair is going to be absent. See here on Y, electron pair is not there. Okay, ma'am. Complete electron pair, if it is mode, we are representing with arrow mark, completely arrow mark. Okay, that one we will get clarity in next homolytic fission and heterolytic fission. Before that, all of you note down these electron movements in reactions carefully, all of you. Three types of electron movements are possible. Okay, ma? Next, we will go for next side heading. Next side heading, that is homolytic fission and heterolytic fission. First, what is meant by fission? Fission is nothing but bond breakage. Fission is nothing but bond breakage. Okay, breaking of the bond. Breaking of the bond will be happening in two types. Those two are homolytic fission and heterolytic fission. So fission is of two types. Homolytic fission and heterolytic fission. Okay, we will see separately what is that homolytic fission and heterolytic fission. Okay, ma? Let us see first what is the side heading homolytic fission. If there is a bond between any two atoms, let us consider between carbon and carbon, okay, or carbon and halogen means chlorine, anything, carbon and hydrogen, anything we can consider, no problem. Between carbon and carbon, let us consider one bond is present. Okay, ma? This carbon contains hydrogens. Don't think that here Sir didn't write tetravalency of carbon, all those things. Just I am considering one particular bond. I am concentrating on one bond, how it is going to be broken, that one only. So while we are concentrating on that, remaining things I am not going to write that one. That is not meaning that they are not present. These bonds will be present only. We are concentrating on this bond between carbon and carbon. Okay, ma'am? Now let us consider the bond present between carbon and carbon. This bond, in what way it is going to be cleaved or broken or fission, all are same only. Fission is nothing but breakage or cleavage. Cleavage means separation of bond, means breakage of the bond. anything, the terms are same only. Okay, now my question is, this bond contains how many electrons? Every bond has 2 electrons, that is electron pair. This carbon will donate 1 electron and this carbon will donate 1 electron. Is it correct, no? So in that bonds, in that one bond, 2 electrons are present. Now it is going to be cleaved equally, or it is going to be broken equally. The type of cleavage is called homolytic cleavage or homolytic fission. Okay, the bond which is cleaved towards 2 atoms equally, the bond which is cleaved, okay, towards 2 atoms which is cleaved equally, the type of cleavage is called homolytic cleavage or homolytic fission. Both are same only. Cleavage or fission, both are same. Now observe the representation correctly, all of you. This arrow mark doesn't contain like this two sides. Full arrow mark it is not. It is half arrow, meaning 1 electron it is moved towards carbon. This electron moves towards this carbon. That means exactly the bond will be cleaved or broken, in which 1 electron will be shifted towards one carbon, another electron will be shifted towards another carbon to form carbon is getting 1 electron, this carbon is also getting 1 electron. Is it okay, ma? Now once again, the bond present between carbon and carbon is fissioned or cleaved equally. The bond present between carbon and carbon is cleaved equally. Then the type of cleavage is called homolytic cleavage or homolytic fission. If the bond between any two atoms, okay, is broken equally, the type of fission is called homolytic fission. One more time. If the bond between any two atoms is cleaved or broken equally, okay, then the type of cleavage or fission is called homolytic fission. Okay, result of homolytic fission, these are called free radicals. These are called free radicals. Those are neutral in nature. Any carbon is not contained by excess electron. Those are contained by equal free radicals. Free radicals are represented by any general element. If you take X, on that X we will show one electron. That is the representation of free radical. Okay, any element with X representation, on that if you write one dot, there is nothing but 1 electron present, then that is called free radical representation. Okay, now what is meant by homolytic cleavage or homolytic fission? The bond, if it is cleaved equally, the bond present between any two atoms, if it is cleaved equally, then the type of bond cleavage is called homolytic cleavage or homolytic fission. Okay, ma'am? Then in that condition, we will represent this bond breakage with half arrows. This is one half arrow, this is one half arrow. If you see like that, this is visible as like this, ma'am, and name of this one is fish hook arrow. What is the name of that representation? It is looking like fish hook. That's why that representation is called fish hook arrow. Fish hook arrow, looking like fish hook. Okay, half arrow we will represent, because complete bond is not shifted towards one side. Correct or not? If complete electrons are shifted towards one side, means we will represent complete arrow. But 1 electron is shifted towards carbon, another electron is shifted towards this carbon. Is it okay, ma'am? Now, note down this carefully, all of you. Homolytic fission results to the formation of free radicals. Homolytic fission results to the formation of free radicals. Free radical contains one electron present on the atom. Okay, this is about homolytic fission. Next we can go through heterolytic fission. If the bond is cleaved equally or broken equally, that is called homolytic cleavage. If the bond is not cleaved equally, that is called heterolytic cleavage. Then how we are going to represent? Let us consider any two atoms, bond present between any two atoms, carbon and hydrogen, or carbon and carbon also. Between carbon and carbon, sometimes it will take homolytic cleavage and sometimes it will take heterolytic cleavage. That conditions at the time of reactions we are discussing, we will discuss, no problem. No need to keep any doubt in that one. Okay, let us consider carbon and hydrogen. In between carbon and hydrogen we have one bond. Okay, now it should not be cleaved equally. That means that bond must be that bond must be shifted. That bond must be shifted completely towards one atom. That bond must be shifted completely towards one atom. Then this is like this. I am representing bond to atom. Okay, ma. Now observe the arrow mark. Complete arrow mark I represented because this complete bond is shifted towards carbon side only. Is it okay? Now the bond which is shifted towards particular atom, that atom will get negative charge because electrons are moved. Electrons carry which charge? Negative charge. So that negative charge is shifted towards carbon. Hydrogen will get positive charge. The bond which is cleaved towards particular side, that side we will get negative charge. On the other side we will get positive charge. Then the result of this heterolytic cleavage, heterolytic fission, we will get C minus plus H plus. On which side? See, the bond is cleaved towards carbon. Then carbon is getting negative charge, hydrogen is getting positive charge. These two are commonly called ions, in which one is called anion and another one is called cation. The resultant of heterolytic fission are cations and anions. Resultant of homolytic fission are free radicals. The resultant of homolytic fission are free radicals. The resultant of heterolytic fission are cations and anions. Carbon anion, this one. Hydrogen cation. These two are commonly called ions now. Okay. So this is called heterolytic fission. Regarding ions, you know very well. Cation and anion. Cation carries positive charge, anion carries negative charge. Is it okay, ma? This is about heterolytic fission. I hope you are clear, everyone. Note on this carefully. If the bond is cleaved unequally towards one particular side, that is called heterolytic cleavage. If the bond is cleaved equally, that is called homolytic cleavage. Resultant of homolytic cleavage is free radical or free radicals. Resultants. Resultant of heterolytic fission are ions. Those are anion and cation. This is about heterolytic fission. Okay, ma? So we completed today. What about starting of reaction mechanism, fundamentals in reaction mechanism, how organic reaction is represented. After that, mechanism definition we have seen. Okay, after completion of the mechanism definition, electron movement in reactions we have seen. After seeing that electron movement, we have gone through homolytic fission and heterolytic fission. Okay, we will go to next concept in next class. This is about today's class. I hope you are all very clear about the concept. Okay, these are all useful, definitely terms present in your next 12th class also. Please be careful and observe the class carefully. Okay, ma? Thank you. Have a nice day, all of you.